Hi guys, I'm Amrut Deshmuk, your booklet guy. And recently I read a very interesting book suggested by one of my friends. And guess what? I am with the author right now, and he is Dr. Christopher Temporelli. If I haven't, have I pronounced it right?
Beautiful,
Dr.
yeah.
Christopher. He's a musician, a martial arts enthusiast, and the author of the book Flow: The Freedom Laws of the World. What a fascinating read. I completed the book in less than a week or so. Uh, and if I could conclude the book in one line, in the words of Van Dyer, Dr. Van Dyer, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change, is what I learned from your book. Yeah, it changed my perspective, the way I look at things, people, and the world in general. So thank you so much for writing such a wonderful book. By the way, I read for India. I'm known as the booklet guy of
Right,
India,
right.
and millions of people are reading with me. I'm on a mission to cultivate the habit of reading amongst the youth of India. If there were not authors, there wouldn't have been booklet guy. So authors are God to me, more than God to me, and I do nothing except reading books. That's all I can do, and I'm so happy that I'm joined by you today. Uh, so primarily today we are going to talk about your book, what inspired you to write the book. Before that, let me tell the viewers that Christopher strongly believes in Indian philosophy. He has visited India, and something miraculous happened when he had visited India, and he was so determined to visit the temples in Tamil Nadu, and one of the security guards did not allow him to enter one temple, but Christopher was so determined that he did something which astonished the security guard. So I want to start this conversation with that demonstration. What did you do? What did you speak that day that he just allowed you let in? Could you, I'm very curious to hear it from your words.
Well, it's almost like it said for me, I wasn't going to be allowed into this temple, and I left, and then I just got this inspiration to go back, and then I went there and I kind of didn't know what to do, and then I just thought of Lord Ganesh, who's takes away obstacles, right? So I just looked at him and I said, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was really surprised.
Okay.
And so I did it again because I just kind of waited and we both looked at each other kind of shocked. So I think I did it again. It was uh that's that idea of being in the flow and then you just kind of do things.
Wow.
So
Awesome. So nice. It's so thrilling. Okay. So after reading the book, the first thing that struck my mind is, so Christopher, you say in your book that there is no need to find meaning of life. Yeah. In fact, instead get involved with the life itself, and you call it as catch the wave, if I'm not
right.
right. But I've read thousands of books, especially self-help books, and one of the books written by Viktor Frankl is Man's Search for Meaning. He was one of the victims of Holocaust camp of Hitler. So help me solve this contradiction. On one hand, you say there is no need to find meaning, and on the other hand, I've been reading books how to find meaning of life. Yeah, the purpose of life is to find meaning, and the meaning, ultimately you have to find the strength and use your strength to serve other people, is what the whole meaning of life is what I've learned from thousands of books. I'm sure you have given a deep thought to it, and you will solve my dilemma, and solve the
Right. Yeah.
contradiction.
Thank you. And again, thank you so much for reading the book and being a part of it. It's such a thrill for me to have these chances with you. Uh, yeah, and we all want meaning, right? So it's not that we're not wanting meaning, it's just how exactly do we go at it. And I do love the word search, because search can be like an adventure, right? So we can be on an adventure for meaning. It's just the angle that I take it on it in the book, and it's also related to that experience I had in India where someone asked me to find the meaning of life. And the angle I'm taking is that you don't in a way, even have to search, because it's there for you, and it's more like a relationship is the way I like to see it. So instead of trying to feel like you're maybe missing something, I think that's the only issue with the search, is I'm looking for something but I don't have it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to change the perspective on that. We talked about perspective. So of course we deepen our meaning, but it's the angle that I'm looking at is that the meaning is more like it's unfolding for you. You know, so instead of being lost and trying to find something, you're developing a relationship with something that's there right now. And I have a little bit of a feeling that meaning is also trying to find you. You know, it's we're all in a big human family for one, right? And we're all, a lot of us at least, are really trying to help each other. So that's the kind of angle I'm taking. And so I completely understand the search for meaning, but I'm also thinking, let's connect to meaning or relate with meaning.
Okay, I get you. I get you. Great.
Yeah.
Uh, would I be right to say that you discovered the concept of flow at when that incidents happened in one of the temples in Tamil Nadu?
Well, you know, that's the thing. These all these different experiences come together and culminate. You know, the actual flow as an acronym, as a word, flow, freedom, laws of the world. You know, that hit me actually outside of a shopping mall in Korea. So I had been in India and I came back, and then it all kind of came together for me in like one moment.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's actually how that kind of took
And that
place.
lady who met you on the flight poked you to write the book.
Well, and then, you know, that's from these different times. In an earlier time, someone did tell me like, oh, you know, you've got some great ideas. Like, where will I read all of these ideas that you're saying? And I'm like, well, you know, there's a lot of great books, but exactly what I'm saying, you know, doesn't exist in a book yet, I don't think.
Okay, okay.
Right.
So viewers, those who haven't read the book, so there are 7 laws or 7 waves that Christopher has laid down. Uh, Christopher, I understand uh, that external circumstances have very little to do with our fulfillment. That's what your second law, catch the wave, says, to cultivate enjoyment in the current situation. But to be very honest, what if a person who is fed up of an abusive spouse, or a bedridden child suffering from a terminal disease like cancer, is it really possible to someone to love the current wave in such situations?
Right. That's a very poignant question, right? And the point is that, you know, there are certain circumstances that it's very challenging to directly love, and maybe you don't even need to.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, sure, you don't want something to happen, but the thing is, like, as you mentioned, and external circumstances certainly affect our lives, right? That's how we interact. It's just what we want to do is cultivate being in a position as much as we can so that we have some control into our direction. And the thing is that we can always find times to find something to love in our life.
Correct.
And I think one of the issues is that, you know, sometimes if we're in what we feel like is a hard situation, we feel like we're maybe not even allowed to have a moment of enjoyment. You know,
Mhm.
because there's suffering happening, I don't even deserve to enjoy the sunshine, right? And so what I'm saying for people is, even if things are not where you want them, or there's these challenging situations, you can first off find what you can love in your life wherever you are. And we can always find something, and it doesn't mean it immediately changes everything, but you might get a little bit of an ease. And then the second thing is, if you can, how can you put a new spin on your circumstance?
Mhm.
And, you know, I was thinking about some of my own experiences when, you know, I've had family members who pass away or something. Those are not easy times. But uh, along with Love the Wave, I have that idea of the Zen of the sideways glance.
Mhm.
So sometimes you don't have to look exactly at the reality. You know it's there, you know. But what you can do is say, well, in this moment, despite everything, what can I do to bring some joy to the people I'm with? What can I do to ease some suffering? What can I do to bring some love into the situation?
Mhm.
So that's like the concept of it. And and then you just, you balance and manage as you can with it.
Mhm. That's a valid point. You have mentioned about your Chinese guru, Gabriel
Yes.
Kin. Yeah, very interesting character. So, can you tell us one quality that you picked of your Chinese guru, Gabriel, for your lifetime?
That just strikes me, he really was a very fun, interesting character of, very varied life. And he was also a singer and a martial artist. So we had a lot of great things we could connect on. And I think one thing that I got from working with him was just the fun of being involved in the process. So, often in life we think about end results, like when I'm the star, whatever, when I've, made the money I want, or my business is where it is, or, I've achieved what I want. But, with Gabriel, that was a period when I was really developing. I was still in university, and I would go do Tai Chi with him. And then on weekdays I'd stop by, and it was a kind of like uh, I don't know what kind of, mentorship thing, but it was super fun. And we had this great opportunity to learn and to grow. And I think what I really learned was the joy in that development, the joy in that journey, and the relationship to create something. That was a fantastic experience.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
He was fun. That's like you said too, is a really fun, maybe I learned some fun too.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, needless to mention, and if you start enjoying the process itself, the results do not bother you. Yeah, how
Yeah,
does
and
it
that's that's
matter?
that's part of it, right? That's kind of the one of the
Yeah.
aspects.
Many people believe that, you know, uh, once I become successful, I'll be happy. But it's actually the other way
Right.
around. Happy people have a fair chance to become successful.
I think that's one of the big mysteries, right?
Yeah,
And how can you
yeah,
cultivate that enjoyment on the way so that you do,
yeah, yeah. I agree. I just love the phrase in your book. One of the phrase, I mean, it just popped out like, a familiar face in a crowded area, and that face just pops out to our sight.
right.
The phrase was, success is transferable. Wow, it sounds
Okay.
so interesting. And when I read that chapter in detail, it says that how you can use the learnings from one facet of your life in another area of your life.
Right.
So you are a very successful, renowned musician, and you have learned martial arts. So I'm very keen to know, how did you use your success in music in martial arts, and also the other way around,
And
your
then
learnings
vice
from
versa.
martial
Yeah,
arts
yeah.
in music.
Yeah, the success is transferable thing it's an important concept to me as a person. It's something I've also really grown with through the years. And as I've been able to uh, figure out some ways to be successful, in on an area, call it that, then see how I could transfer it and do it in bigger ways. And this book is actually really a culmination of me trying to share in bigger and bigger aspects. So I'm
Mm.
getting, not only just as I was about my own singing or my own like exercises or art or whatever, but then to share it with other people in that medium, say of like singing as a teacher, professor, and then wanting to say, well, no, I want to share the whole idea so that anybody can use it in business or this or life or whatever. So that expansion. And I think one of the things is with the martial arts, it helps you to get into a good shape. You got to get sharp, you've got to get responsive. You're using your whole body, and that is bringing you to a place where you heighten your ability. And then when you do that, you get receptive so that you can move on a notice, right? And it's
Yeah.
the same when you're on stage with someone. You're in this relationship. I've just had this memory of being in Barbara Seville and I think Memphis somewhere. And I had this great soprano I'm working with, and she sings to me, and then I'm talking to her, and we just had so much fun doing it because you have to be skilled in your art, but then you get above it. And I remember we went off stage, and she came up to me and she said, "Christopher, you're so funny," you know. And so I think that's what it does. It helps you to train yourself. And, you think maybe in martial arts, you're trying to learn self-defense or something, but for a lot of us, we don't really need self-defense. A lot of us don't. What we need is feeling secure and also feeling strong and having energy and knowing how to move our body and do all those things. So I think that's what it kind of did.
Do you still practice martial arts?
I do. I mean, I'm not in a club anymore, but I go out to the park all the time, and several times a week I'm out doing stuff. So
Great. You are in
yeah.
good shape. You are in good shape, no doubt about it. uh, you spoke about using catchwords in order to achieve your goals. So, for our viewers, if you could share a few of your catchwords that you used in your recent past and how they help you to achieve your goals.
Right. It's just if you have a specific plan that you want to, get to, and of course you've got to do everything else in life. You've got to get up and you've got to deal with daily routine and everything. But how do you go that next stage sometime, right? Or add something into it. So often catchwords for me are a way to keep my mind focused on either a primary goal I really want to take care of, or something that I feel like I kind of need to add into what's already working. Because if things are really working, you don't necessarily have to remind yourself, and of course, even if they are working, you maybe want to bring it further and keep yourself on focus. So when I was really in New York trying to up my career, I was really thinking opera singer, opera star, opera rock star, just anything like that. I was working with it. And then when I was doing the book, I was flow book. I was also doing flow fitness last summer because I was really working on like getting my shape up again. And so I was like in the summer flow fitness, and recently I've been really using author again. I've been writing some more. I've been expanding into some other different books on a couple of subjects. So I've been doing author, and another one I think I don't know if we talked about it, but I've also been using this idea of perspective for myself too, to kind of keep my mind open also to what is it else that I want to do, or where can I enjoy what I've done, you know what I mean? So it can be a specific goal, like you want to do this professionally or whatever, or it can be a emotional quality you want to get, or get your mind on an idea of openness for new possibilities. And it's a method of focus, and it's a method of also keeping your mind in something that is more proactive, because we can get, we all get caught in thoughts that are not useful. I feel stressed about this, and then you just kind of can keep that running, right? I think we've all probably been there. I think it's like part of the human condition.
Okay.
And I think it's better if you can find something, well, that's true, but I want to be, a flow author. And then that kind of gives me a little bit of excitement, gets me going.
Oh, very interesting. That's a good point that you made. That encourages me to ask one more question. We have many budding authors in India who wish to write a book, but I'm sure you know this, that writing a book needs a lot of willpower, more
It
than
does,
what you
yeah.
need to go to the gym. I want to know your journey. How much time did you take to write the book? What was the toughest part in the book, or where you got stuck? You
Yeah,
had no clue what to write next. So, could you give some suggestions for the budding authors of India uh, about writing a book?
right. That's a great question. I think it's also, it's very personal how we have any kind of creation process, right? But probably there are certain things which are transferable. Uh, for me with this one, I really had it, and it happens to me sometimes, just hits me really in the big premise. And I sat down one day, well, it's in the book. Actually, it hit me one day, and then this is the thing, you have to follow up. And that's actually flow law 7, keep the wave. Because as much as it seems like it's great, you're going to have to keep going, and that's follow through is a lot in life. And that's sometimes what people will forget. I mean, you probably, to a lot of people, you look so set and good, Amrut, like he's like all together and great, but probably you have to keep going too, right? You got to, and other people might not think that, maybe me too, they see, oh, he looks like fine. No, I've got to keep going, right? And with writing, it's the same thing. So with the book, it hit me, boom. And then that was my first challenge, because the next day I had to get up and start. And it was raining out and it didn't feel like a great day. And I thought, no, I had this I was so excited about this idea, just sit down and start on it. So I sat down, I started writing, and then it just flowed. I had, I think, 3,000 words, maybe, just
Wow.
boom. Yeah, along with, like, I made the outline and it was all great. And then that was a really good start. And then for a couple of months, I was just putting things down, writing, writing, writing. And I got a general first draft done probably within 3 months, which was, I felt very fast.
Awesome.
But then I was kind of like, wow, this is, I need a break, I need to step back. And I took some time, and I had other people read some, like kind of editorial to get some ideas, and see, does this make sense? Because that's another thing you want to, I think it's a good idea to get your friends, get people to read the book and see, do they understand what you're saying,
Mhm.
So I think that the main the main thing I would say is, if you have ideas, write them down and don't judge them. Just get them on paper, and then take breaks when you need to, but then get back to it and keep going, and then stay open to comments and even to criticism. If someone doesn't understand your ideas, maybe other people may not, or maybe they'll find what's really great and can do that as well. So that's the way that I went about it.
Awesome. Awesome. So viewers, his book Flow, Freedom, Laws of the World. I highly recommend you to read this book. And as booklet guy of India, I promise Mr. Christopher that I'm going to take the big ideas from your book and take them to my readers through my booklet app. Yeah,
Great.
I'm very sure they will love them. Yeah, thank you so much. It was such a great time to discuss with you. A lot of things to learn from you. Mm. So thank you so much for joining, and
Well,
thank you
thank you so
Times of
much.
India.
It's just such a, yeah,
Yeah, great thanks to Times of India as well for giving me this opportunity to have a word with you. Yeah.
it's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Amrut, it's been such a pleasure. I mean, it's so nice meeting and seeing also some of your work and your mission, really, to keep people learning and reading and keeping this art form and this dialogue happening. That's really keeping people's minds and spirits alive. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.